everyone. Thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday. I'm Jason Hackett alongside Alicia Lewis, and we are following breaking news from our state capitol.
Yeah, just a few hours ago, Minnesota lawmakers passed the budget, and our crew's been there all night long. We're going to be checking in with them in just a moment, but first, let's get out to meteorologist John Ziegler with a look at the forecast. Get out today.
Yes, today is a great day. We're in the midst of some pretty active weather, actually, and we're going to be talking about heavy rain as we end the week. That's why we have an impact alert for you Thursday night and Friday morning. But for now, great weather. 46 in Willmar. They keep dropping. Willmar, 46, and you're going into the middle 80s today. It's a 40-degree warm-up. So again, if you're going to go with a jacket, which is totally fine this morning at 46, shed the layers by 8 a.m. I'm serious. 59 in the Twin Cities. I'm guessing the 8 a.m. temperature in Willmar will be 64 degrees. So we're going to warm up very quickly. Southwest wind is starting to show up. Now it's light, and it has to be light to let your temperature drop, but it will start picking up a little bit in the afternoon. Southwest winds warm you like crazy compared to a south or even a southeast wind because they're drier. Remember, they come from the desert, southwest, nothing there. That's why they're warmer. Again, a little bit of cloud cover, and I can see it. It's overcast right now, but that's going to be clearing pretty quick here this morning. Temperatures taking off into the 70s. Perfect afternoon. Finally, a day in the low 80s. Been a while since we've been here. Southwest winds, breeze at 10 miles per hour. Cece, how do the roads look?
The roads look great. Good morning. This is a live look in the Crystal Robbinsdale area. Good morning. If you live there or drive through there, this is Highway 100. Very quiet and also very dry. This time yesterday, roads were pretty damp. You're not going to have that issue this morning. Taking a look here at the bigger map, still not seeing any crashes this morning, which is good. So no significant slowing that will impact your drive over the next hour or so. There are some road projects that could impact your drive time, though. I'm going to go to Maple Grove when I see an X just after 6:15. There's a project starting there on 94 at 9:45. More details soon. Alicia.
Cece, thank you. Let's get back to our breaking story. Minnesota's special session is over, and they have a few hours to spare, too.
Yeah, 4 hours ago, lawmakers passed the budget before this morning's 7 a.m. deadline. Michelle Beck has been at the Capitol all night long. Michelle, I hope you've had some coffee. Thank you very much for your hard work. Walk us through the night here.
Oh yeah, Jason, Alicia, good morning to you. Yeah, what a night. I have watched the night come and go. As far as when the Senate chambers were here open, it did close when the Senate wrapped up nearing 2 a.m. Very early this morning here. At that point, the House had already adjourned in this one-day special session to balance the state budget for the next 2 years. With a 7 a.m. deadline, lawmakers sprinted to get through more than a dozen bills determining major topics like education, human services, and taxes. The bills are now headed to the governor's desk, evidence of some hard-fought compromises like in the House where the GOP and DFL were tied.
I think we have proven here in the House that Democrats and Republicans can find a way to work together. A lot of the things that were wanted or desires by both sides, Democrats and Republicans, did not happen. It was a true compromise. I don't know how we're being characterized, but I know this was successful because we were able to get the work done, not quite on time, but before a government shutdown.
In the end, fighting for that equal shared power made this a better session. And I think the way that today unfolded was about cooperation and collaboration. We could have had that from the word go. I'm really happy that we did finally get there.
Now, perhaps the best example of that compromise, but also controversy, was in that bill that was set to end access to state health care for undocumented adults. Jason, Alicia, I'll recap that in the next half hour. Back to you.
Check back then. Michelle Beck reporting live from the Capitol. We appreciate your reporting there all night long. We, of course, have in-depth coverage of the special session streaming right now on KARE 11 Plus, our app for your television. You can download it and watch for free.
Turning now to the unrest in downtown Los Angeles this morning, following several days of protests turned violent, all stemming from immigration raids. Things calmed down overnight just a bit, but as the sun rises on the fifth day of more demonstrations, hundreds of Marines and more National Guard members are heading to LA.
Our Audrey Russo has been following the chaos and is joining us now from the live desk. Hey, Audrey.
Hey, Jason, Alicia. Yeah, that's right. NBC News reports 700 U.S. Marines are mobilizing as we speak at Camp Pendleton. They'll deploy to Los Angeles to join the 2,000 National Guard members President Donald Trump ordered to the city over the weekend. And this comes after a somewhat calmer day on the streets. Hours of protest ended with local officers trying to block demonstrators from getting on the highway. And there was no significant violence yesterday, but this morning we're learning a protester from Saturday's demonstrations is now on the FBI's most wanted list. The agency says it has photo and video evidence of him assaulting a police officer. Los Angeles elected officials this morning are reiterating their calls for the ICE raids to end, but the Trump administration says they want to expand immigration enforcement.
I would say stop the raids, period. I would say give the power back to our governor, and if we need the National Guard, we can do it in the normal circumstances, which is the request is made local and the governor decides or not to grant that to our city.
We're in every city in the country, and ICE is going to be out every single day, and will continue to be out there regardless of what's happening in LA.
Now, that's nothing compared to the war of words exchanged between President Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom. I'll have more on that coming up in about 30 minutes, but for now, back to you.
Audrey, thank you. This morning, we're also tracking protests over immigration enforcement in other cities across the country. From Texas to New York, thousands of people are gathering for demonstrations.
We're standing in solidarity right now with thousands of workers across the country in over 20 different cities to demand an end to the ICE raids.
Police in multiple cities say they've arrested rally-goers for alleged legal violations. The White House border czar saying this morning he thinks ICE should expand its efforts.
An update to a story we brought you as breaking news on Sunrise yesterday morning. A sad update here. Minneapolis police are now investigating the death of a 2-year-old girl and her father as a potential murder-suicide. Minneapolis police say officers were called to a home near Colfax and 29th Avenues just after midnight yesterday. Police say they found a man in his 50s and the child shot dead. The child's mother was in the home at the time but was not heard. MPD is looking into what led up to the deaths.
Well, right now, day 2 of trade talks between U.S. officials and China are underway in London. No major movement between the two sides here in the last 24 hours. We're in the midst of a 90-day tariff de-escalation. For now, U.S. duties on Chinese imports are at 30% instead of the 145%, and China's rate is down to 10% from 125%. And new numbers this morning show the impacts of steel and aluminum tariffs on home building in the Twin Cities. According to the Keystone report, 612 permits were issued last month in the metro, which is down 14% compared to the same time last year. A majority of those permits were for single-family houses, with just 22 permits issued for multifamily builds. Nick Erickson is with Housing First Minnesota and expects new homes to get even more expensive.
Here in the Twin Cities, it costs far more to build a similar home than it does in Wisconsin or Chicago, and that really does impact Minnesotans' ability to buy a home.
They expect tariffs could raise the average cost of a new home nearly $11,000. The National Home Builders Association says the cost of building material has gone up by 34% since 2020, which is a lot higher than overall inflation.
Well, heads up this morning, if you get your prescriptions from a Cub pharmacy, you're going to want to hear this. The parent company of Cub Foods was hit by an apparent cyber attack, forcing them to take some of their systems offline. So United Natural Foods says half of their pharmacies are impacted here. If you look on Cub's website right now, they have a full list of pharmacies that are up and running this morning. The chain says if your pharmacy is impacted here, get new prescriptions filled elsewhere. But if you had a prescription filled before Friday afternoon, then it should be available for pickup.
All right, just about to hit 6:09.